Good evening, guys, and thank you so very much for joining the class. So yesterday we discussed about nmap tool. So nmap, its the full form is the network mapper, and it can be used mainly for the port scanning, and it can identify what are the ports are open and also what are the ports are closed. And it will provide not only just a port opening and port closing, even it will provide the what type of service or application or process is run against each and every port along with the protocol. And the latest version is 7.95. And I have given a couple of tasks to everyone. I received only, okay, so respect to results from Priyanka. I did not get other people output whatever I given. So what about other people, guys? Hope, did you scan it? Bhavani, Chanti, Gopi, Saujanya, Litika, Venkateshwar Rao, Muddu Kumar, everyone, Naveen Kumar and so on.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, I did scanning, sir.
Okay, Ramanjulu. So what are the ports you identified against which website you scanned and what is the domain name or host name?
Okay, I did to scan the Facebook and YouTube, sir.
Okay, what are the ports you identified and how many filtered ports are there? How many closed ports are there? And what have the scan you have done?
1 minute, sir. Mm, uh, ports is HTTP 8 to 8, sir. HTTPS 443.
That is
And
on Facebook or YouTube.
that is a Facebook, sir.
So Facebook is running 443. Then why 80 is coming?
Uh, uh, uh,
See, normally Facebook is running on HTTP or HTTPS.
Facebook is running the HTTPS.
Then why port number 80 is coming? What is the reason? That means Facebook company, it's opened 80 is in their firewall.
Yeah, yeah, yes, sir.
They opened firewall port number 80.
Mm,
Okay, what is the second scan you have done?
second scan is the YouTube, sir.
Okay, what are the ports you identified?
Ports. Actually, same thing I did get to 8 to 40, 440, sir. Port number.
Uh, okay, so how many total overall ports you scanned?
Orally four, sir.
Four.
YouTube, Facebook, Telegram, and Instagram.
Okay, so what is the record it is using when you are scanning from your local host? From DNS point of view?
Uh, yes, look, yes, sir.
Which record it is showing whenever you are running port scanning from Nessus tool? So under the nmap
N,
tool,
Nmap,
there are
Nmap tool,
different,
sir.
yeah, under the nmap,
N,
there are multiple drop down list. Did you run, okay, ping scan or Christmas scan or comprehensive scan? So slow
instance scan, sir. First option, instance scan.
initial
Profile.
scan you have done.
Yes,
So
sir.
what is the DNS record it is showing from your local host? When I say local host, from your laptop to respective targeted domain or host name. So targeted domain or host name here, as I mentioned, YouTube, Facebook, Telegram, and so on.
Yes.
What is the DNS record you observed? Total, how many
The,
ports it is scanned?
actually, I observe. I didn't observe, sir. Actually,
Then why did you do scanning then? Without see,
actually,
analysis also very important, right? It's not for
yes,
the
sir.
namesake. Like okay, sorry to pinpoint you and sorry to target you. So it's for everyone, not only for you guys.
No, 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 sir.
It's for everyone, by the way. Okay, thank you so much, Ramanjanila. Really appreciate. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, sir.
Whoever done, guys, other than Ramanjanelu, who has done? I'm asking, at least you can say yes or no.
Okay.
Sir, I did.
Kishore,
Yes, I did. But it's showing some errors after some time. It's taking a long, around 2 hours for me. I don't know. It was a network issue or something. It's showing some errors also.
why it
For
is showing
compare,
error? Yeah,
while I'm doing comprehensive scan.
do you have sufficient network or
Yeah.
internet?
Yes, I have like 100 Mbps speed, but I'm not sure why it was showing that type of errors.
No, it will maximum run 10 to 15 minutes if you're running comprehensive scan. Then what you can
Okay.
do, you can uninstall and reinstall once again.
Sure, sure.
Is it clear, Kishore?
Sure, I got that one. Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Ravi,
Sir,
which type of scans you have done?
sir, I did a regular scan on the target of facebook.com.
What are the ports it is you identified?
I got the ports opened is 80 and 443 TCP both,
Okay,
and out of just a second, out of, and it has been filtered around scanned. It is 1,000 ports. In the 1,000 ports, it is filtered is 998, and the result
okay,
is given is the open ports is 2, and the state is up,
okay. What
and
do you
it
mean
is
filtered ports here?
filtered ports.
What
9,
is meant by open, closed, and filtered ports here? You said open ports are 2,
yes,
filtered ports are 998,
right.
closed ports are 0. What is meant by open? What is meant by closed? What is meant by filtered?
Open ports are these two. I mean, you want the protocols like?
No, 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 it's okay. HTTP and HTTPS obviously port
Yeah,
number
yeah,
80 and
yeah. That's true.
443.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, those two ports are open. What is meant by filtered ports? And which DNS record you have seen when you're running against these Facebook and YouTube?
It is running RDNS record.
RDNS record. Are you sure? Is
Yes.
there really RDNS record is there?
Yeah, it is showing in the output form. RDNS
What is that
record.
record name?
RDNS record it and giving you some IP address.
What is meant by RDNS record?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe reverse DNS. I think.
Reverse pointer.
It is,
PTR basically that one. That is not RDNS. So
okay.
it's a PTR, reverse pointer record. Yeah. So coming back here, I will explain. Thank you so very much, Ravi. Really appreciate for that.
Thank you, sir.
There are 3 different types of ports you will see whenever you are running any domain or host. So if you are giving domain, you can see, okay, I will open, okay, so whatever I have done yesterday, scanning part, I given google.com here. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So host, so here nmap output. So this is the slow and comprehensive scan I have run. And here ports and host, port number 80 and 443. So that doesn't mean that port number 80 really it's opened in the firewall of google.com. So as is shown yesterday itself, even though whenever any end user or public, they are trying to access google.com via HTTP, it will redirect to port number 443. That doesn't mean that they open the port number 80. Obviously, every organization, they will not open port number 80. It's a very risky port. It will not provide any confidentiality, privacy, authenticity, non-reputation, and integrity as well. Is it clear? So in the firewall side, they will not open. So maybe, so here, even though if I'm doing google.com through HTTP, it will redirect. That's how I shown in the Portigate demo. Did you remember? So always whenever any end user is giving, so google.com or portinet.com or youtube.com or facebook.com, it has redirect always through HTTPS. Okay, so that's why you are able to see this one. Second thing, host details. It is very, very important here. So total, yes, you are right. 1,000 ports are open. Total 1,000 ports are scanned. Out of 1,000 ports, 2 ports are open and closed ports are 0 and 998 are filtered ports. Open ports are two meaning here. So those ports are open in their respective web server. In the similar way, 998 filtered ports meaning here in the firewall side. So they blocked all those ports out of 1000. So based on the requirement, either we can allow the port or maybe we can close the port according to business requirement. Okay. So these filtered ports meaning it indirectly. And anyway, closed ports are 0. Coming back to here, you can see type of the host name PTR. What is this PTR? Basically, it will represent about reverse pointer record. When you say reverse pointer record, so I given google.com. Google.com will convert that particular host name or domain name into IP address. This is the IP address. Converting host name or domain name into IP address, we can call it as a reverse pointer DNS record. This is already explained yesterday itself. Okay. So opposite of the PTR record is A record. It will convert IP address into domain name, vice versa. Okay. So that is about overall how to do the analysis part. So did you analyze Christmas scan, TCP full scan, TCP half scan, and also other scans? I mean, what I want to say here, did you analyze all these scans? Did you analyze all these scans or not? Yes or no?
Not all.
No.
Yeah, please verify these things. Okay, so please scan all these things. Okay, so you should aware of even firewall as well in this scenario. Then only you will understand about all this scan analysis part. So as I said, so port scanning is very, very important. It's one of the favorite interview question if you are going for vulnerability management or vulnerability assessment vacancy. What is mean by horizontal scan? What is mean by vertical scan? What is mean by port scan? Can anyone define what is mean by port scan? Nmap tool, basically it will do port scanning mechanism. Not only port scanning mechanism, it will do ping scan, it will do sync scan, it will do TCP scan, it will do UDP scan, it will do vanilla scan, it will do Christmas scan, and so on. What is mean by port scan? Anyone can define, Mr. Akil? Mr. Akil.
Yeah, I mean, it's in generally it's a common technique. It's generally used by the attack intruders to discover any open ports which are available in the network. I mean, to by different set of scannings. It's one type of recovery activity.
Excellent. That is perfect answer, Mr. Akil. That's perfect answer. Port scanning to identify, it's one of the enumeration technique. What are the different types of ports are open against the targeted machine? Which ports are open and which ports are closed? Which ports are, okay, so filtered. So that is called port scanning. If you are going for vulnerability management vacancy, it's a compulsory mandatory interview question. Now coming back, what is meant by horizontal scan and vertical scan? So what is meant by horizontal scanning here? So if we're running one of the IP address or host name against 0 to 65,535 ports, that is called horizontal scan. Okay, so now what is meant by vertical scan? Opposite to horizontal is vertical. So if I'm running multiple IPs against single port, that is called vertical scan. So total I'm discussing here 3 topics: horizontal, vertical, port scan. Port scanning is it's a enumeration technique. Attacker can identify to see in the targeted mission what type of ports are open, closed, and filtered. That is called port scanning. Then what is meant by horizontal? So any targeted host name or IP address running against all these 0 to 65,535 ports. That is nothing but 65,536. That is what we have done. This is called horizontal scan. Then what is my vertical scan? So for multiple IPs, if we are running single port number, that is called vertical. Any doubt?
How can we add multiple IPs by separator?
No, here we can't do that one. That is the drawback of the nmap tool, Mr. Priyanka. Sorry, Priyanka. So these things we can do part of the vulnerability management tools like Nessus and Qualys, Tripwire, Rapid7 or Nexus or Nexpose, all those tools. Nmap tool will not give separating of the comma and so on.
No,
Here it is not
basically,
possible.
actually, we are running against multiple IPs, you said. So can we put it in a file and do that?
Yeah, that we can do part of, not here. As I said, commercial tools. Open source tool is not giving those results. So you are right. We have to add all those multiple IPs in the Excel sheet, like 10.10.10.1 to 10.10.10.10.255. All those IPs you can make in Excel sheet, and you can upload the file, and you can run the scan, and it will give the results. So that is not possible via open source tool. Whatever we are discussing right now using open source tool, that is called nmap. But these things is possible commercial tools like Nessus or Qualys or Rapid7 or Nexpose or Tripwire and so on.
Okay.
Clear?
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for asking. Yeah, that is the first topic, guys. The second topic we discussed about DHCP server. So DHCP server, it will provide whatever drawbacks we identified using static IP. So it will eliminate all those drawbacks. It will assign the IP address automatically, not only just allocating the IP address automatically for the respective time period. It is like a lease time. Even it will take care of the IP address management. What is mean by IP address management or IPAM? So IPAM is one of the what you have to remember. So what is the full form here? IP address management. So meaning it's like a database. So always DHCP server, it can go and it can verify what type of IP addresses or empty free slots it is available. So whenever any end user is connecting through either LAN or maybe through wireless or Wi-Fi, it will check that particular database. So that particular process, we can call it as IP address management. Allocating the IP address, releasing the IP address, and also verifying the what is the empty free slots is available. That entire process we can call it as IP address management. If a human being is there part of the, so instead of DHCP server, obviously we have to maintain either Excel sheet or maybe we have to maintain Confluence page to make sure that what is the IP address we are allocated to. So X user or Y user or Z user, it's complicated. And also it's a very time consuming part. Okay. So that is the one thing you have to remember. So far we discussed two topics under DHCP. One is IP address management. Second one is so allocating the IP address automatically for the specific time period using a DORA process. So DORA process, it contains 4 different types of phases: discovery, offer, request, and acknowledgement. In the discovery phase, whenever end user is connecting through either LAN or maybe through wireless or Wi-Fi, so discovery request, it will send all the networking like a broadcast. Now, respect to network devices, it will respond back. I am the DHCP server as an offer stating that how can I help you? Now, so end user will request, I need one of the IP address to communicate other peer devices to complete my day-to-day activities. So that is like a request. Finally, so DHCP server can validate what is the empty free time slot or free IP address is available. So according to that one, whenever the end user is accessing X time, it can go and it can identify. Now I have one question. One of these system is got compromised through ransomware. Okay. So that particular end user name is called Suresh. It is happened at around 4 p.m. IST. But after that, he left his home by 5 p.m. Now, how we can do the tracing of this incident and how we can identify only Suresh is connected that particular system at 4 p.m. Why? Because maybe Suresh is connected 4 p.m. 10.10.10.1 and he downloaded one of the malware file like a drive-by downloads, or maybe through phishing email attachment, or maybe through copying some of the files through USBs or pen drive or memory stick. So now, if you want to do the triaging, same time Suresh only connected this particular system. Why? Because May 5 o'clock he left. After 5 o'clock, that particular timestamp, DHCP server will allocate to Ramesh. Now, where we can go and we can verify at 4 o'clock, only Suresh is connected. His system is got compromised. Unless otherwise, if you don't have the sufficient tracing of the respective incident, anyone. It's one of the favorite interview question, by the way. First of all, did you get my interview question or not?
Based on the time frame.
Based on the time frame. Okay, so where can you verify? So in the alert, we did not see whether who is the end user, whether Suresh or Ramesh or Mahesh or Naresh or Nagesh. Only we know IP address, that's all.
By using this IP address management.
No, we can't verify through IP address management. Where we have to verify exactly?
We will
Here
check
you
the
are
Active
saying,
Directory logs.
Hmm?
Active
like-
Directory logs.
Check the Active Directory logs.
Exactly. Someone said already. I think Akhil or someone or Sudhir. That's correct, Chanti. It's an active directory. So active directory, it will provide about all the users, whoever is connected through domain, and also domain control is responded back. So that particular time frame. So this one regularly we will see. So these type of things, because whenever through EDR or whenever through firewall, whenever through SIM tool, couple of times parsing will not happen properly. What is meant by parsing? First of all, whatever logs it is generating, respect to SIM tool, it is not able to convert SM tool understandable format. If you don't have the sufficient parsing related issues, obviously you'll face these type of issue. We are not sure which system is got compromised and who is the end user. So that is the reason. So always we have to verify Active Directory or domain controller logs, that particular time frame or that particular event timestamp. Then we'll come to know, okay, this particular user is connected this particular system so and so time. So where can we verify? Active Directory logs or domain controller logs. Clear? Please remember all these, guys. So coming back here now. So two topics we completed. Obviously, port number is 67 and 68. 67 is for the end user side or employee side. 68 is from the server side related to DHCP. So that's all about overall DHCP server. And please remember whatever note I given. So one more thing I want to add it here. We will not give any static IP to end user. We will give static IP to only servers and also databases. Why? Because if every time IP address is changing to the server or database, maybe reboot issues will occur, and also DHCP server will allocate only respect to lease time only. So that is the reason we should not apply these DORA process concept to servers. Servers always fixed and should be available 99.9999%. So any virtual machine we are configuring, any server we are configuring, any database we are configuring, always we have to use static IP. Why I'm saying all this now? In future, if you want to install any virtual machine lab for practice purpose, we have to assign the static IP only. Okay. So that's all about overall whatever we discussed yesterday. And I'm trying to start new topic that is called DNS. domain name server. So what is this DNS exactly it will do? It will convert domain name into IP address or else IP address to domain name. So why we have to always configure domain name? Without configuring also it's possible. Why? Because we should not expose our IP address to the public. You can expose our public DNS, not private DNS. Okay. So every organization, it will maintain two different types of IPs. One is public IPs and private IPs. So private IPs only within the organization, and we should not expose those public IPs. Only we can expose our public IPs related to WAN interface in the firewall side. Okay. So those IPs only we can go and we can give. So one thing is we will use lot of tools in the organization, entire IT and software industry. So example, machine learning team or data science team, application development team, or mobile development team, or HR team, or legal team, or NOC team, or SOC team, or Windows team, and Linux team, and so on. So if for everything you are giving URL link as a IP address, how many IP address we have to remember? It's very complicated. That is one of the reason. Second reason is we should not expose our private IPs to the respective attacker. So that is the reason to eliminate these drawbacks. Always we have to give the fully qualified domain name, that is called FQDN. So whatever google.com or facebook.com or youtube.com or instagram.com, all these are FQDN names only. Okay. So these names for easy we can remember. So instead of the IP address, because IP address is like a number. So, and also mainly for the security purpose, we should not expose our private IPs to the public. So mainly for these two reasons, so we have to give always our external facing websites only via fully qualified domain name. That is also called as a management console. What is mean by this one, sir? You are saying theoretical. Can you show me practical? For example, FortiGate demo I given. So here, whatever this FortiGate.fortidemo.com, this particular thing is called as a fully qualified domain name. Now, Fortinet company, they given this a FortiGate firewall. It's a demo tool instead of giving the IP address. Okay, so where we have to configure this one. So every tool has a management console. Management console, why we will use to access any device via remotely or to access any device via through VPN. We can give the fully qualified domain name. For that one, we have to map IP address also. So for example, I will take one of the example only. So FortiGate firewall. Not only just for FortiGate, because FortiGate I'm giving regular example. So that is the reason always I'm choosing this one as a best example so that you will not get confusion for here and there. So I'll go to images now. Network issues. Yeah. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is FortiGate firewall. This console is called as a management console. What is meant by management console? Management console to access the device through remotely, to configure the device remotely, to administer the device remotely, to take care of the investigation through remotely. For example, maybe you are working in Wipro and you got one of the project related to Bank of America. In that scenario, so how can you access the, okay, so FortiGate firewall or IBM QRadar or maybe CloudStrike EDR tool or maybe Nessus vulnerability management tool. It is not possible, right? So for that reason, what we have to do, we have to assign one of the console as a management, and this management console, we have to assign the IP address, and this IP address we have to map to so fully qualified domain name. Okay. So example this one, so that even though you are sitting in Wipro, Gachibowli, Hyderabad, through VPN, I can access the device through remotely. So that is example. Same way for each and every device we are using, we can access via through the management console. Okay. So we can discuss more in-depth analysis part of our practical tools in future. But you can remember only one thing, fully qualified domain name. So now how we can define this one now? DNS will convert or resolute domain name into IP address or vice versa. So when you say vice versa, IP address to domain name as well. Okay, so now every organization, it will maintain the two different types of DNS servers. Now, before going to two different types of classification of the DNS server, so DNS will support both TCP and UDP connections. Nothing but real-time streaming related to cricket match in the online, or any video call, or any audio call, or any other broadcast via online, it will support DNS. Not only that one, along with that particular real-time streaming, even it can support, okay, so TCP three-way handshake connections. It's one of the favorite interview question, guys. Which server or protocol it will support both TCP and UDP connection? What is the answer?
DNS, sir.
Exactly, DNS. Okay, so this particular question is from Capgemini, UST Global, EY Ernst and Young, and also Value Labs, and so on. Okay, please remember this particular thing. So which server or protocol will support both the TCP and UDP? Only one server will support both the TCP and UDP connection, that is DNS. Now, DNS classification. So how many DNS server every organization it will maintain? There are two different types of DNS servers every organization it will maintain. One is called public DNS. Second one is called private DNS. Once again, under public DNS, so this public DNS can be converted into public private DNS, sorry, public primary DNS, public secondary DNS. Public primary DNS. In the similar way, public secondary. What is in the secondary here? It's like a backup or high availability. So these two servers can be configured via public, and this public DNS always we have to deploy in which zone? Anyone or any guess? Mr. Akil, where we have to deploy public DNS? Which
DMZ.
DM.
DM?
Untrusted.
DMZ.
Untrusted.
DMZ or DMZ?
Demilitary zone.
Trusted.
Yes, sir. DMZ or DMZ. So there we can deploy so our public DNS, not in the untrust. Okay. In the similar way, we have private DNS as well. So under the private DNS, once again we have so private primary DNS server. In the similar way, private secondary DNS or backup. So total every organization, it will maintain how many DNS servers?
4.
4, that's correct. So this private DNS always we have to deploy in the trust zone. That is also called as internal zone. Okay, so that is the main difference in private and public. Let's go and see practical way. So I'm opening firewall now. So what is the username and password I said?
Demo.
Demo.
Demo and demo, that's correct. Okay, so especially 3 servers, we can integrate to each and every security tool, not only just a security tool, but also even other software industry or IT industry tools as well. So one is Active Directory or LDAP. Second one is a DNS server. Third one is SMTP server. Active Directory or LDAP mainly we can integrate to see whenever any security incident is occurred, traceability, who has done what, and what is the IP address, who is the end user is going to impact. So that is on the first server. Second server, what we can use a DNS server mainly for the domain name resolution or domain name conversion. Third server, we will use SMTP server. Whatever I am telling right now, everything is like implementation level. Right now, everything, whatever I'm teaching or I'm telling, it's a complete implementation. So SMTP server, we can integrate to get the notifications or alerts will be triggered. Okay. So now go and see here under the dashboard, under the network. So you can click on DNS. Can you see my screen once again?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so FortiGate tool related to firewall, they integrated public DNS. So in the actual practical scenario, any firewall or any EDR or any SIM tool or any proxy, we should not integrate to our public DNS. Always we have to integrate our private DNS, because a demo tool or a demo piece, anybody can access from anywhere. So that is the reason they provided the public DNS. Now you can see it's a primary DNS server of the public. In the similar way, secondary DNS of the public server. Okay, so one is 45, second is 46, last two numbers. So this is what I'm saying. Every tool normally will integrate 3 different types of servers to make sure that traceability related to end user, domain name resolution or domain name conversion. Third one is to get the notification, that is Active Directory or LDAP. Second one is DNS server. Third one is SMTP server. Theoretical and practical, is it okay now?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So that is about overall how many DNS server. Now converting of the domain name into IP address or IP address into domain name. So we can configure couple of records. Those records we can call it as a DNS records. Now I'll explain about DNS records. DNS records. For resolution of the domain or host name or FQDN. What is FQDN?
Fully qualified domain.
domain name. And also, yeah, we will use couple of records in the DNS server. Those records we can call it as DNS records. Now we can discuss about DNS records. There are more than 10 to 20 in between DNS records. In our class, we'll discuss about very, very important DNS records we will use regularly. Okay, let's start now. DNS record types.
Sir, I have one question. Sorry to interrupt in between.
Yeah, please.
Regarding this public DNS, like in the DMZ zone, are we hosting these web applications in the for those criteria we are using this public DNS in our DMZ zones?
No, basically, any web server we can host in the DMZ. It is a facing to the internet again. So, but here we can configure the DNS domain name in the DNS server. So, for example, Apache Tomcat or Windows IIS. What is IIS here? Internet server. So these servers, on top of the server, we can deploy a couple of applications. So whatever using microservice based applications or any other application development or web development related. So programming languages, respective development team, they are developing. So even though it is facing to the internet, that doesn't mean that. So we have to always keep these servers under the trust zone. So these servers we can keep in DMZ because it's like combination of both trust and untrust, like a 50-50. So same way, DNS side as well. So there is no difference between so DNS public and also web server. Web server is a different concept, and also public DNS is different concept.
Yeah. Okay. Sir. Thank you.
Is it clear?
Yeah, it's clear. Thank you. Sir.
Yeah, application server, basically most of the cases we can use Apache or Tomcat or Windows IIS, or else maybe Unix server as well related to CentOS or Red Hat Enterprise Linux, or maybe Docker or container based microservices. So we have to always keep internet facing things, and it is non-critical things to the DMZ or DMZ. Wherever it is a critical thing, we have to always keep the trust zone. So that is different story. Anyways, we can, tomorrow topic is our other servers. There I will explain about in-depth analysis. What is web server or app server? What is SMTP server, database server? We can discuss more on those topics.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, coming back to DNS record type. First one is A record. So what A record it will do, it will convert domain name into IP address. So that is called A record. So whenever we are giving any domain name, like a facebook.com, that facebook.com can be mapped into respect to IP address. So that is called, okay, so conversion of the domain name into IP address. So especially here, IPv4 address. So example, google.com can be converted into 8.8.8.8. What is the secondary public DNS of the Google? Anyone?
8.8.4.4.
Perfect. So that is the correct answer, 8.8.4.4. So that is the public DNS of the Google. Okay. So that is the first record, that is called A record. Second one is 4A record. We should not call it as a quadrant. Quadrant is nothing but 1/4. It's a 4A record. So what it will do, it will convert domain name into IPv6 address. So that is called, okay, so for a record. So wherever we are using IPv6, that may be the cloud environment or on-premise environment, those places we can convert domain name into IPv6 address. Third one, MX record. It's very, very important. So full form is mail exchanger. So what is this mail exchanger record it will do? Why we have to configure this one? We have to configure mail exchange record part of the SMTP server. Okay, so MX record we have to configure in DNS and also in SMTP to send and receive emails. So under the mail exchange recorder, there are different types of important protocols or important technical features basically. So every email server contains, or every, not email server, every email contains couple of important technical and non-technical. Non-technical like subject line, recipient name, sender name. All those are non-technical. For example, I'll open one of the email. So this is from Google I received. So I'm opening show original. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I received one of the email in the Google site. Now I opened that email and I went to show original. I'm repeating once again. Just I opened the email. I clicked on 3 buttons on the right corner side and I clicked on the show original. If I'm clicking on this one, now I'm able to see entire email content in the form of HTML or JavaScript. Body of the content will be there in the either HTML or JavaScript. And additionally, we can see every email contains the message ID. So this is message ID. So created yet. So from, so Google, and to, so my email address, subject. So Google account has been disabled. So these are all non-technical part. Whatever these things are, these are all non-technical side. Then what are the technical related parameters? Every MX record we have to configure. We have to configure SPF, Sender Policy Framework, DKIM, Domain Key Identification Message, DMARC, Domain Message Authentication Receive Code. All these are interview question when you are making phishing email investigation. What is SPF? What is DKIM? What is DMARC? And what is return path? These 4 are interview question, guys. So these are technical oriented. So along with that one, you can see IP address. IP address also technical, and also domain name also technical, google.com. So these are all the technical oriented, okay, so features every email contains. Non-technical like message ID, from, to, subject line. These are like a non-technical oriented. So sender policy framework, why we have to configure under the SMTP server using MX. Any cyber criminals, they're trying to do spoofing category of the attacks. For example, TCS email or domain name is tcs.com. Our Gmail is gmail.com. But what attacker will do? He will pay 200 rupees or 400 rupees to GoDaddy, or maybe Google Trust, or maybe some other open source tool. They will make like test.gmail.com or test.tcs.com or test.cognizant.com. Whether really these domains are existing?
Not.
No, it is not existing. These are like fake domains. As a security person, yes, we are know about what is legitimate domain and what is illegitimate domain. What about HR team? What about legal team? What about product development, or maybe DevOps or TechOps or HR or machine learning or maybe data science? So those people is not aware of what is meant by sender policy framework, DMARC and DKIM. For every email, whatever they are receiving, they can go and they can do the phishing email investigation.
They
That's
can't.
why we are here to take care of the respect investigation part. So now, if we are enabling the sender policy framework, cyber criminals, whenever they are making phishing emails, it can identify is there any spoofing has done. Example I given already, test.tcs.com. This domain is not existing. But what attacker will do, attacker will create by purchasing 400 rupees in the GoDaddy, and he can create x.y at the rate of test.tcs.com. Now he will send an email to all the employees who are is a part of sales at the rate of tcs.com or info at the rate of tcs.com. Now everybody will receive. Malicious malware attachment, if they don't have the sufficient cyber security awareness training, obviously they will click or they will download and their system will get compromised. To eliminate those drawbacks, we have to configure sender policy framework, especially spoofing category of the attacks. Second one is DKIM, domain key identification message. What is mean by this one? In between sender and recipient, whenever any email it is received, so it will identify that email got it's encrypted or not. So couple of times you will see email is encrypted. How is it possible on the backend? Because we have to enable DKIM, domain keys. That is maybe public key or private key in between sender domain SMTP server and recipient SMTP domain. They can negotiate each other. They can exchange the keys and finally they can accept. Otherwise it will become failed. Third one, DMARC, domain message authentication receive code. Mainly it will represent about integrity of the sender. Who is sending? Whether legitimate user is sending the email or illegitimate attacker has sent the email. To identify this one, we have to configure DMARC also using MX record in our SMTP server along with our DNS record. Okay. So not only that one, written path is always equivalent to sender email address. Now go and see, this is the body of the content. So what is the message I received? Your Google account has been disabled. Why? Because I did not enable multi-factor authentication. So that is the reason I received this email. After that, I went and I entered my mobile and I enabled security questions. And I went and I given the mobile number as well. So whatever this body of the content it is there. So this body of the content always in the form of either HTML or JavaScript. Okay. So this is the overall body of the content. So this is also called as header. We have to make sure that this header also contain is there any legitimate or illegitimate activity using a payload. IP address validation we have to do, domain validation we have to do, even header analysis also we have to do whenever any email we are receiving through phishing email. So that is about overall technical feature every email contains. We can go and we can discuss in-depth analysis whenever we are getting the topic of SMTP server or else we are discussing about email gateway. So email gateway, it will prevent or block or quarantine any phishing emails. SMTP server or email server or XN server is different versus email gateway is different. అందరికీ అర్థమవుతుందా నేను చెప్పేది?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, yes.
Okay. So I'm going back to here now. So every email contains couple of technical and non-technical features or parameters. So I will discuss about the technical now here. Technical one is SPF, Sender Policy Framework, DMARC, Domain Message Authentication Receive Code, and DKIM, and also written path. Along with this one, I will keep some other technical as well, IP address, and also domain name. So these are all technical things. Along with this one, I'll keep one more header analyzer. So whenever any phishing email is received from the phishing email attacker, we have to validate all these tools or all these parameters. Okay. So this one we can configure in the DNS record and also in the SMTP server as well. So that's why it's a very important record. Next one, PTR record. This is what we have seen just now, part of our nmap tool. What is this PTR full form is? Reverse pointer. What is meant by reverse pointer here? Whatever A record and 4A record it is there, these two opposite to this one. So what A record it will do, it will convert domain name into IP address. So opposite to this one, it will convert IPv4 address to domain name, or else it will convert IPv6 into domain name. That is called PTR. It will convert A and 4A record opposite way. Nothing but it will convert IPv4 and IPv6 address into
Domain name.
Domain name.
So that is our PTR record. For example, 8.8.8.8 can be converted into google.com. So that is our PTR record. Next one is hinfo. So full form of hinfo is host information. What is meant by this host information record? Don't think like host is nothing but our endpoint like laptop or MacBook or workstation or desktop. Wherever we configure DNS, that particular DNS server, obviously it's a Microsoft or maybe Infoblox. So that particular system related information we have to gather. For that one, we have to create one of the record. That record, we can call it as host information record. Every host information record contains, for example, whenever you are purchasing any laptop, what are all the parameters you will validate? Or want to purchase one of the mobile or maybe one of the laptop, what are the parameters you will validate?
RAM,
ROM,
hard disk.
RAM,
specifications.
memory, hard disk.
Yes, we will validate SDD, HDD, RAM, CPU, version, whether i5 7 or i5 9 or i5 12 in the similar way. So hard disk and all those parameters. Host information record, what exactly it will represent, wherever the DNS record it is configured, what is the CPU utilization, what is the RAM utilization, what is the hard disk, and also who is configuring the DNS records. So respective DNS zones and security administrator of the DNS server. All those information can be provided by hinfo. So it will provide the DNS server, CPU, RAM, hard disk, host related information. So that is about hinfo. This is fifth one. Sorry. Next one is sixth one. ISDN record. What is this ISDN record? Full form is integrated digital subscriber network. What is mean by this one here? We have STD and AST. What is the difference between STD and AST? What is the difference between STD and AST?
International and domestic.
Yeah, national we can call is STD and international we can call it IST, correct? So within the India we can call it STD and international we can call IST. For this one we have to configure one of the DNS record. So especially in the organization point of view, couple of BPO sector. So BPO full form is business process outsourcing. Business process outsourcing people, they will use a desktop. Along with that one, they will use one more network device. What is that? Anyone?
Voice.
Voice or IP call. Voice or IP related calls. So example, Vivo IP mobile or network, whatever. So this is voice or IP related part. So to make a call to international also, in the DNS side, we have to configure. So one of the DNS record to make sure that whenever any BPO sector people, they are making a call to customers or client related to clinical system or US recruitment or maybe so any other, whatever it may be, banking sector, finance sector, healthcare industry or telecom sector. For that one, we have to configure one of the DNS records so that it can reroute from source to destination so that respective customer or client will receive the call. Okay. As now go back to our here. This ISDN record can be used to make international calls using voice or IP phone systems. For example, if you want to make a call to Canada, what is the country code? Or international code for Canada? What is the Canada international code?
+1.
Plus or else? Or 00, guys. Plus or 00 if you want to make international call. So this is for international code, country code of Canada. What is the country code of Canada? In the North America, what is the country code?
1, sir.
1. And after that, what we have to enter? Phone number. So XXXX, maybe 8-digit number or 10-digit number, whatever it may be. So this example I have taken Canada. Okay. So same way we have to configure this code. For example, maybe if you want to make a call to Germany, so we have to enter 47, I think, or 49. In the similar Dubai or UAE 971. Forget about all these. India. So international code is 00 or plus. And what is the country code?
91.
91. And after that our phone number. So for that one, we have to configure one of the record that is called ISDN record under the DNS server. Okay. Next one. C name record. So C name full form is canonical name. What this canonical name it will do? So it will convert any of the web browser that may be HTTP into proper HTTPS. For example, even though I will enter google.com, how the google.com can be converted basically. Just 10 minutes back or 15 minutes back we discussed. Google.com or youtube.com or instagram.com, port number 80 and port number 443, it's open.
Redirection.
It's a kind of
Redirection. Exactly, it's a kind of redirection. It will convert redirection of the web browser or converting one form of web browser into another form of web browser. So that is about CNAME record. For example, if I am giving Instagram.com, how it will redirect? How it will redirect? HTTPS
HTTPS.
colon www.instagram.com. So this is the way how the redirection will happen. For this one also we have to configure one of the record. Okay, that is CNAME or canonical name. The next one is NS record. So NS full form is name server. It is one of the important record as well. So this name server record we can configure based on the domains and subdomains, and also based on the geographical location wise. Okay, so full form is name server. It can be used to convert name server using domains and subdomains, and also using geographical locations. What is mean by these two? I will give example now. Example of geographical location wise, how we can configure the name server record. So example, you can take Hotmail. Hotmail in India, how we can configure? Hotmail, how we can configure? How
Dot
take
in.
Yahoo Mail?
Hotmail.in.
Dot in.
Yeah, hotmail.in. That is, IN is nothing but India.
India.
What about Singapore?
Dot SG or something.
SG, that's perfect. SG. What about Australia?
Dot AUS.
What about Dubai or UAE?
Dot UAE.
Dot UAE, that's perfect. So for example, so UAE, United Arab Emirates, part of Dubai, we can configure, take example of Yahoo Mail or Hotmail, whatever, yahoo.uae or yahoo.co.uae. In the similar way, in the India side, what the email address in India? Related to Yahoo. Yahoo.co.india.
In.
What about USA?
Dot US.
Dot, not US, .com.
Okay.
So that doesn't mean that we can
parent location.
Yeah, it's a parent location. That's correct. So this is based on the geographical location wise. Now based on the domains and subdomains. So we have SharePoint. SharePoint from which vendor?
Microsoft.
Microsoft. Can you give the couple of Microsoft related applications?
Excel, Word.
Excel, Word. What else?
Teams, Outlook.
Teams, Outlook.
PowerPoint.
Yeah, PowerPoint, SharePoint, all these.
Microsoft Defender.
All these are domains. Microsoft.com is like a parent. Under this one, we have sharepoint.com. It's like a subdomain. And also teams.com. It's like a subdomain. And also, so as you said, excel.com or word.com and so on. So this one, it will act as like a parent NS record, and remaining all are like a childs. So this is, we can configure as NS1 record, this one NS2, And this one we can configure as NS3 and NS4 and so on. So this is the way, based on the geographical and based on the domains and subdomains wise, we can configure. So how is it possible? Through which record?
NS record.
Name server.
NS, name server record. Next one we have text record, TXT. So TXT full form is text record. So this is mainly for the texting or SMS purpose we can use. So that is via through email, because couple of companies, they will provide even mobile to support related roles or professional service related roles like a level 1, level 2 or level 3 or tier 1 or tier 2 or tier 3. For example, maybe Google or Microsoft or maybe so other companies, whoever is there on call support, they will give the mobiles as well. For that one, whenever they want to receive any notification via mobile, so they have to create one of the text record in the DNS server. For texting purpose, we will create TXT record in DNS server. So finally, 10th one, SOA. So there are two different types of SOAs basically. One SOA we can discuss part of ISO 27001. That is called basically a statement of applicability. But here, what is SOA? Statement of authority. Okay. Statement of authority. Statement of applicability is a part of ISO 27001. There we can go and we can configure 114 compliances under 18 clauses. That is part of the GRC compliances under information security. This SOA is a part of statement of authority. Who is the authorized person, authority? Who is the authorized person to configure DNS server? Anyone? Anyone?
Network
the
admin.
Network admin or else?
System admin.
Exactly, that's correct. So now statement of authority, basically it will represent whoever is configuring the DNS record, whoever is managing the DNS server, whoever is maintaining the DNS record. So that particular admin related username, passwords, DNS zones configuration, primary DNS, secondary DNS server, everything can be configured via SOA record. It can be used user, whoever is configuring DNS server. Example, DNS server admin, nothing but that is also called as a network admin in the couple of organization, or sysadmin or Windows admin. So their email address of the authority person and contact number, and additionally, so creating the zones of the DNS server. Okay, so these information can be provided part of the SOA statement of authority. And as I said, this one in the State Bank of India in 2023, 2022, whenever they are recruiting cyber security analysts, 200 people, in the DNS records, they asked about total 3 to 4 questions. Only in this topic. One is name server record, statement of authority, CNAME record, and MX record. In the OSLAS, approximate 4 to 5. Altogether, out of 80 questions, only here itself it is covered how many? 10 to 12 questions. Okay. So it's not completed yet. So we discussed about DNS record. In the tomorrow class, I'll explain about DDI, DNS, DHCP, IP address management. Once the topic will complete, then I will go to other servers. Every organization, whatever servers it is maintaining. So couple of servers we'll discuss about database, app or web server as Akhil said, and SMTP server, Active Directory, domain controller. So if I miss out something, there we can discuss. That's all for today, guys. Do you have any questions? Any questions from anyone? Say at least yes or no.
No.